Cool. Sweet. So, whoops. Is that good, Car?
Yeah, I have the same thing in mine's not console.
Are you on, where are you right now? Are you on test underscore ajax?
Yes. And I literally have the same thing. But I have to do it.
So you're at slash songs, not at slash underscore test underscore ajax. All right, so let's keep going. Any questions on this part? Did anyone figure out how to actually append stuff to the page? I'm getting some people are pointing at Patrick. John, you got your hand raised though, so I'm not actually going to call on Patrick while he's like that. I'm going to call on John.
So I guess once we can see in the console what the JSON object looks like.
Yep.
We know the properties, so we can just, it's an array.
Yeah.
So just to get things going, I accessed the first element, which is response 0. But to append something to a page, you have to use a jQuery dot append.
Yeah.
So I selected the body.
Cool. I'm just going to do it within the done here. So we're going to do body and then dot append, right?
Dot append, and then I just did the title and
Cool.
the photo URL. So I did p tag.
All right.
And then I did plus response 0 dot name.
All right.
And then plus and p tag.
Cool. I'm going to skip on the image tag for now, but yeah.
So if you just had the response.0, it would put everything inside that array, right? All the objects inside of it.
No, actually it wouldn't. So let's go ahead and refresh this real quick. Make sure that this works. So I'm going to go do a get. Sweet. All right, we see the yes. But if I remove this 0.
No, I mean just the dot name, the 0.
Oh, gotcha. So if you just do this,
Yeah.
let's see what happens. Does not work. Because it doesn't, so we need to tell it from that object what we want to actually print on the page still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan.
What is the jQuery.ajax? What is that?
So that's saying like, so if you remember when we did, like way back, we did like jQuery plugins and we were talking about like what the $ actually means. So it's pretty much the same thing as writing jQuery out, right?
Yeah.
So this is literally saying like, go to jQuery and,
Get the method Ajax.
Yep.
Well, where does the method Ajax come from? Is that something we added or is that built in?
it's built into jQuery. Yep, exactly. Yep. Cool. All right. So we can now get the yes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if we wanted to, we could just do like a for loop or something and print out all the names on the page, right?
And would we do that in the append method, the whole for loop?
You would do a for loop like around it. So you'd probably do something like for like var I, blah, 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 and then wrap that around this append, right? So you do response I.
Gotcha.
Yep. Cool. Any questions on this? No? Okay. Cool. Let's keep moving on then. All right. So we're going to do a post request now. And I guess I lied. I'm actually going to include all that for loop stuff. So let's just add that in. Cool. All right. So Keith, this is what your for loop would look like. I had it in there the whole time. Cool. So this is basically saying, link us to, it's still allowing us to link to the artist, right? And then we're going to print out the name as well. Cool. Does your hand raised? No. All right, cool. All right, so now we're just going to use, we're going to update our view a little bit and add in some input fields, right? So we can start doing some posts, right? Thinking back, right? So I'm going to add this in here. Where is our view? Here we are. So thinking back a little bit to, and by a little bit I mean a day, to your Rails time, right? What's different about this input right here, or these inputs, that you guys remember from like input fields that you guys were making in your projects? Is there anything different in the code here that maybe we're missing? Maybe something that these are typically wrapped in? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, well, I noticed the form is missing.
Yeah.
Also missing a button.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah. Question.
The cloud hits?
Yeah, that definitely for sure. Yeah, those. Yeah, Mohammed.
Form form?
Yep, yeah, so we're missing all like the Ruby code about specific forms, right? And that's kind of a nice thing that we can do right now is now we can sort of, this is all client-side stuff, so we don't even need to use our Ruby. We don't need a submit button. Because anytime, if you guys remember, again, anytime you click that submit button, right, it caused like the whole page refresh, right? And so it went to the server, it grabbed all the data, or it added something, then it sent you to a redirect, or it opened up your page again, or it like refreshed your entire page with the new information, right? So we don't need to do any of that. We're literally not using a submit button here. Right? All we're doing is we're including these little fields. And then our submit button is going to be these divs, right? We're adding the click events on these divs. We're adding JavaScript click events. That's the same thing as our submit button, but it's all this client-side action instead of having to like go and do like a full submit. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, so let's keep going then. So right now, I click this post, nothing's happening, right? I haven't actually added any JavaScript here, right? But if I click the get, we're still good. Cool. This is all still working. So, whoops. So let's go ahead and add in our code for posting, right? So you'll see here, it's pretty similar, right? I'm gonna add it in and then we will talk through it. So I'm going to add it in right below here. Yep, I'll call it out in 1 sec. So within our document.ready function still, right? But outside of the first text underscore ajax.get underscore get. All right, so basically you want one extra curly brace and parenthesis at the end. I'll do it again, real quick.
So we're just changing that .ajax object to a post instead of get.
So I'm leaving the get in there still, right? We want the whole thing to be functioning, right? So I'm leaving the ajax in here, or the get in here, right? So this is what it was originally, right? So I'm adding in a space in between these last two, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and paste it in, right? So yeah, as you said, Andrew, literally all we're doing is we're changing the type here to post, right? Except here's a different thing, right? We're adding in this data element, right? What do you think that's doing?
That's the data we're actually posting with.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly right. So it's the data that we're posting. So before, if we scroll back up one more time, we've got our type, data type, and URL, right? And then going back down, we've got type, data type, and URL. So the data tag, or the data element, is literally saying what data we're passing in. So right now, we've hard-coded some stuff, right? But that's cool. Let's just play with it and see if it works. So let's go ahead and refresh the page one more time. All right, so now if I hit post, you'll see an object was created, right? We've got this new object. Cool. So we've posted a new artist named Bob, whose nationality is, I guess, also Bob. My bad. And whose photo URL is google.com. Pretty exciting artist right there. Yeah. So does anybody kind of have a feeling on how we would now render this to the page?
Same way we did the other one?
Yeah. You want to run me through it?
Sure.
Cool.
Alright, so we're going to jQuery select
Where am I going for this?
in there, and it's right where done, right below that.
Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and jQuery.
jQuery select and then dot name.
Dot name. Here?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going for the class of name.
Yes, and then you're going to append the. Oh, wait, where do you actually want to put these? Let's go back to the.
That's a good question. Where should we put them?
Yeah.
So I'll give you the answer there. In here, we just have a UL of class artist, right? So why don't we just add it in there? We can search for the artist, right? So let's append it to artist instead of name here. Cool. So what am I putting in the append?
Response dot.
All right. Do I want to wrap it in anything or? Maybe like if we're using an unordered list, do we want to add like a list tag? Maybe just add like an li.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and add that. So then I'm going to do plus. You said response dot what?
Dot name.
Cool. Response dot name plus, and let's close that up. All right, let's see what happens. If I post, sweet, Bob shows up. And you'll notice, let's try that one more time, right? So let's watch like up here, right? You'll notice there's no like swirl or anything, right? There's no refresh. We're literally just posting a new artist named Bob, and he's just showing up. Nothing changed. There was no like flash refresh, nothing, right? We dynamically just added him right to the page, right? And so if we do a get now, everybody is included, right? Including Bob. 3 Bobs now that I've created Bob 3 times, right? Does that make sense? So you see again, there's been no page refresh. It's all been dynamic. We're adding divs or LIs to the page without having to refresh the page or add any any slow moving refreshes.
I'm keeping Bob only.
Are you hitting post? Yeah. So right now we've hard coded Bob in, and that's it. Yep. Cool.
Like yes and
Yeah. So that's when you hit the get.
and long as you have star.
Let's come back. I'll come back over there. All right. So let's keep moving on. So we have appended him to the page, and let's see. Do you want to take a break? Do you guys want to take a break right now? I feel like it's been about an hour. Does that seem all right? Cool. All right. Let's take a 10-minute break, and then we'll sort of refresh this one more time.